Hi Year 4 and welcome to today's English lesson. It's a focus on grammar. Our learning objective is using fronted adverbials. Now, a little bit of a note here. This is a recap lesson from October and November. It's not the same lesson, but it is very similar to what I've already asked you to do. The reason is the repeated practice is needed so that you're going to apply this hopefully in a written piece of work later on this week and next week. So the use of these sentence types will be important in later English lessons. So, first of all, what are fronted adverbials? Well, fronted adverbials are words, phrases, or clauses that are used like an adverb to modify, that means to change, a verb or clause. Now, remember, a verb is a doing or a being word. They come at the front of a sentence, hence why fronted, followed by a comma. So, example 1. Mr. Simmons ate a tub of ice cream. That's my basic simple sentence. Now, I've got here, late at night, comma, Mr. Simmons ate a tub of ice cream. The fronted adverbial here is late at night with the comma after it. It tells us when the ice cream was eaten. Note the irregular past tense verb here of ate, it's not eated. The fronted adverbial comes at the beginning of the sentence and is followed by a comma before the main clause. Example number 2. You can see a pattern here. Mr. Simmons ate a tub of ice cream. Sneakily and greedily, comma, Mr. Simmons ate a tub of ice cream. Now, the fronted adverbial in this case is sneakily and greedily. It is how the ice cream was eaten. Again, the fronted adverbial comes at the beginning, followed by a comma before the main clause. In this case here, note the ly words, and they're usually adverbs, and also the fact that I've got sneakily and greedily. It's a double ly, Alan Pete sentence. Always useful if you need to get a sentence type in there. Example 3. Mr. Simmons ate a tub of ice cream. So, in his shed, comma, Mr. Simmons ate a tub of ice cream. The fronted adverbial is in his shed. It tells us where I ate the ice cream. It's probably true in actual fact. The fronted adverbial comes at the beginning of the sentence and again is followed by a comma before the main clause. Example 4, you're getting the gist of this. Mr. Simmons ate a tub of ice cream. I'm eating a lot of ice cream at the moment. So, as often as possible, comma, Mr. Simmons ate a tub of ice cream. The fronted adverbial is as often as possible, followed by a comma. It tells us the frequency or how often the ice cream is eaten. So you've got this sheet. Well, it's actually attached. You've had it before, and it's attached onto some of the documents that are within your pack. But it shows you examples of different types of fronted adverbials, and there are 5 different types of fronted adverbials that you can have. The first one is time. So it tells you when something happened. So today, comma, tomorrow, comma, in January, comma. Then you've got frequency. Frequency is how often something happens. So often, comma, again, comma, weekly, comma, yearly, comma. Then you've got place fronted adverbials that tells you where it happens. So in the classroom, outside, in Bolton. Then you've got manner fronted adverbials. That tells you how you do something. They're usually adverbs, okay, ly words. And so if you look down that list, an awful lot of them are ly words. The final one is degree, and that tells you to how much something is done, to what end it's been done. So, for example, much admired, nearly asleep. It's not that you're completely asleep or you're partially asleep or you're not asleep. It's nearly asleep. So it's different levels of the same thing. Okay? So task 1. Can you identify the type of fronted adverbial that have been used in these sentences? So are they manner, are they place, or are they time? So I've got the first sentence here. Confidently, comma, the Pied Piper entered the room. In the early evening, comma, the Pied Piper entered the room. Deep in the castle, comma, the Pied Piper entered the room. Pause now and think about what each of those type of fronted adverbials are. Right, well, the first one, confidently, comma, is manner, it's how he did it, okay? In the early evening, comma, is time, it's when the Pied Piper entered the room. Deep in the castle is place, it's where he did it. So let's have a look at this one. Can you add a time, place, or manner fronted adverbial to this sentence? So the main sentence, the basic sentence here is the Pied Piper played his flute. So what I'd like you to do is to pause this and see whether you can add a fronted adverbial to the start of this sentence, remembering followed by a comma. Pause now and have a go. So here are a few examples that you might decide to use. So at dawn, comma, the Pied Piper played his flute. So that tells you when he did it. Dawn is when the sun starts to rise. On his boat, comma, the Pied Piper played his flute. Tells you where he did it. Hypnotically, the Pied Piper played his flute. So it tells you how he did it, the manner in which he did it. They're just examples. You don't have to have those. You might have something else. So you've got a worksheet that looks like this. It's got a picture of the Pied Piper playing on his flute and leading the children out of Hamelin. You've got some keywords there. So children, Pied Piper, flute, played, marched, castle, Hamelin, and revenge. So I'm going to give you a place example. So across the river, comma, the Pied Piper played his enticing tune. So using the above picture, I want you to write sentences about the Pied Piper or things that you see in this picture, but containing fronted adverbials. Please make sure that you cover at least one time, one place, and one manner fronted adverbial in your work. Good luck with that. See you later.